To the nation's capital on this Wednesday, where later today, in a rare move, Prime Minister Carney will make a live prime-time address to the country on Canada's plan to build a stronger economy. The address coming one day after Carney confirmed there's a possibility for a new sectoral tariff deal with the U.S. by the end of the month. But the Prime Minister cautioning against being overly optimistic. Now, the address comes from the PM amidst new warnings today about the upcoming federal budget, that it could see the deficit rise much more than forecast. A newly published report from Bergeron-Oliver warns that Ottawa's fiscal position has been made worse by two decisions. First, dropping counter tariffs against the U.S., and the second, cutting income taxes. Desjardins' top economist says those two decisions will push the federal deficit to $74.5 billion, $6 billion higher than the parliamentary budget officer's prediction. All right, with more, I want to turn to CTV's Bergeron-Oliver. She is in the Bureau for us this morning, of course. Annie, let's first of all talk about the Prime Minister speaking to Canadians tonight. What is this all about?
Hi, Marcia. Well, unfortunately, we really don't know very many details about the Prime Minister's speech tonight. We're being told that he's just giving a live address. The location is still to be determined, officially anyway, to the public. So, really, it's kind of being downplayed to us. It's not a big address, more of a speech. And it's unlikely the Prime Minister is going to deliver any kind of news, especially on the budget. Though the Prime Minister, will be talking about things that he's hoping to accomplish in this term of office, and the government's already been doing this. It's very common for the Prime Minister as well as his cabinet to be going out and delivering speeches in their ridings in the week or two leading up to the budget, and once things have been announced in the budget as well.
So in terms of the budget, do you think we'll get some glimpses then tonight, Annie, of what's coming up?
Absolutely. We'll definitely be getting some type of glimpse. And as I said, the Prime Minister has already done that. So I actually compiled a list for you of some of the announcements that have already been made. And so it kind of gives you an indication of what the Prime Minister might be talking about. So, for example, he's already promised a government-wide anti-fraud strategy will be unveiled in the budget. He's talked about hiring 1,000 CBSA workers. We talked about that the other day. Same about 1,000 RCMP officers. He said there'll be a $1.8 billion allocation over 5 years to help the RCMP. He's also talked about the CRA, how it will be preparing pre-filled out tax forms for low-income Canadians to ensure that they're going to be getting their benefits. And he's also talked about making sure that a national food program is maintained. So there are some of the things that he's already announced, so it's likely we're going to hear more about that. As well, the Prime Minister over the last few months has really talked about the need to sort of build up Canada, to focus more on domestic manufacturing, domestic production, and to really help Canadian companies. He's repeatedly said that we can no longer focus on the United States. We can't make them our sole trading partner. We have to diversify away from markets. And that's also an area that we may hear the Prime Minister talk more about today, given the fact that he is going to APEC this weekend, where he will be meeting with leaders from a lot of other countries that Canada wants to do more business with. The forestry sector today had an event this morning, Marcia, and they were even talking about how they sort of want to be at the table in these conversations at APEC, because these are emerging markets that Canada could try to sell our softwood lumber to instead of our major trading partner in the United States.
CTV's Bergeron-Oliver starting us off this morning from Ottawa. Annie, thanks for that. We'll check in with you later this morning.